Hey, you guys, thanks for listening in to this episode of Tips with T. On today, I have Miss Serena with us today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the show today. Tell us more about yourself and what you do.
Sure. So my name is Serena Sabala. I am the co-founder of Whole Shift Wellness, a coaching company which specializes in bespoke programs for time-pressed leaders. We have over 20 years of combined experience in various fields of the health and wellness industry, and this has allowed us to create a proven methodology to transform you into your most fit, healthy, and confident self within 1 year.
That's awesome. Awesome. So, what are the most common mistakes that we do when we're busy professionals that we need to do to kind of improve our fitness and our nutrition?
So the most common mistakes we see busy professionals make, well, the first most common one is probably that they know they're not taking the best possible care of themselves. They are aware of the fact that they could be doing better, but they're not taking any steps to make any improvements. And this tends to be caused by the fact that they see it as too much of an overwhelming topic. They don't know where to start from. They dread the process and think that it's going to be unpleasant and even painful. And so even though they know that they're putting the health and well-being at risk, they fail to take action. That's probably the most common one we see. The second most common one, actually, interestingly, is that once they do realize that they need to improve, they go in too far, too deep, and go and do the usual New Year resolution thing of trying to change too many things at once, and end up feeling overwhelmed and not being able to sustain the changes.
The small changes are more important to big changes. It's the little things that I try to tell people to do. I know I was told to just cut out sweets and see how that worked. Gradually start working towards doing that to help me better with far as my nutrition and fitness and things of that nature. And then of course drinking more water. Just small little steps that can have a big impact overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And we tend to stick with small improvements more than we do with big changes, especially when we're going about it on our own. So it is really important to start gradually.
It is. So how can we set effective wellness goals that we can stick to?
Yeah, so this is one of the things that we can do is we can look at the end goal and start breaking it down into small little steps. Because even what you just said, the goal of cutting out sweets, that's, for an instance, that although that's a great initiative and a great idea, is still too broad and too generic, and probably still a bit too big for your brain to be able to digest and know how it can get started, So the more specific you can be, the better. So if we use your example of cutting out sweets in this instance, then what I would do is, if I were you, is I would look at what are probably the top offenders. What are the top 3 kind of sweets that you eat that you find hardest to eat in moderation, that you tend to overeat, or that that are really bad for you. And then you can break it down and develop a strategy to start decreasing the consumption. Rather than thinking that you're not going to eat it ever again, you can start gradually cutting it down, so that instead of having it every day, for an instance, you can start having it every other day. And also, most importantly, you need to find a healthier substitution. Because if you just think of things that you want to cut out of your diet, you'll start feeling deprived. You leave a hole, like a gap. And the brain doesn't like that. It likes instead to substitute. What's something that I like that is healthier, that I can eat instead?
Awesome. Yeah, so I know I did say I was going to try to do more fruits as a natural sweetener than eating resorting to candy and cakes and things of that nature.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's a good initiative.
Cool, cool. So what are some nutrition and fitness tips to improve our productivity and energy levels?
Yeah, I mean, we see time and time again, people tend to rely on things such as coffee or other caffeinated drinks, soda, and even sugary treats. They tend to be the way that people cope with feeling tired and not having enough energy and feeling a little bit drained, whether it's first thing in the morning or after lunch. That tends to be a very sensitive time. The problem with those substances is that they create a spike in your blood sugar levels. So they raise it up real high, but then inevitably the higher the spikes, the further down it will drop when it does drop.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kind of hook you into this loop or high highs and low lows, that and it becomes a little bit like a dog chasing its own tail. So some more effective ways to create steady energy throughout the days is, first of all, to make sure that you rest well at night and that you sleep enough so that you're not constantly catching up on your sleep, because nothing will affect your eating more than sleep deprivation. It is a proven fact of science that we overeat or eat more junk type food when we are sleep deprived. We also need to make sure that we drink plenty of water, way more than we think. Half our body weight in ounces every single day is the minimum that we should be drinking, and probably more if we exercise. Because if we are dehydrated, sometimes the body is asking for water, but we misunderstand the signal and we think that we are hungry when actually what we really are is thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
And water massively improves our energy levels as well. And then we need to make sure that we eat more of the foods that give us energy and less of the food that take energy away from us. And that's a very important distinction. There's food that gives you more energy than it requires for the body to digest and process. And then there's food that actually requires more energy than it gives. And you'll notice the difference. If you have a meal and you feel really lethargic afterwards and really tired and you want to take a nap and you feel sleepy, that you're probably eating the kind of food that it's taking energy away from you. Whereas if you eat a good, healthy, well-balanced meal, you feel energized afterwards. So these are some of the things to look for. And also at this moment in time, it's really important to keep your mind healthy as much as your body, because we are being bombarded with lots of negative news and
Yes.
worrying information. So it's important to have digital detoxes, stay away from social media after a certain time of the day, turn off the news, making sure that we're not in front of the TV 24/7, absorbing negative information, because
Mm-hmm.
that will have a massive impact on our energy levels.
Yeah, it does. Negative. It's like it's when you see it all the time, it's get frustrating, it gets draining, and it causes you to go into a state of depression. Really, if you keep feeding into it.
100%.
Mm-hmm. But so, what are some foods that you find that give you energy that you tend to eat a lot so you can get the energy that you need?
So the foods that are most energizing in the world are plant-based foods.
Mm-hmm.
So, and those are the foods that anybody should and can eat without any restrictions. So fruit, like you said yourself, because it's naturally sweet as well, is actually it's actually quite a treat. But also plenty of vegetables, especially cruciferous kind of vegetables. So cauliflower, green leafy vegetables, broccoli, sprouts. Those are some of the best foods that you can be eating. Whole grains are brilliant for energy, and people tend to be afraid of carbohydrates because they associate them with gaining weight.
Yes, yes, and this is gonna turn to sugar. Yeah, anybody. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when actually that's not the case. The only carbohydrates that we need to monitor and limit as much as we can is the processed kind.
Mm-hmm.
So refined pasta, white rice, white bread, and any food that comes in a package. But if you eat whole grains such as
Mhm.
brown rice,
Mhm.
quinoa, buckwheat, spelt, and you eat them in as natural form as you possibly can, and also legumes, beans, lentil,
Mhm.
um, corn, or root vegetables, potatoes, sweet potatoes. Those are very healthy carbohydrates. They contain a lot of nutrients, a lot of fiber. They fill you up with very little calories and virtually no fat.
Mhm.
And that's the kind of food that gives you energy. And then the last thing that I want to mention is healthy fats. You need a little bit of healthy fats in every meal in order to feel satiated for longer. So adding a handful of nuts or half an avocado or some olives, some tahini dressing, those are all great ways to really build a balanced meal that will give you loads of energy, will make you feel better afterwards rather than making you feel worse.
Mhm. Awesome. Yeah, I know me myself personally. I try to start doing like the more going back to the vegetables, the green leafy vegetables, because like I love broccoli. I started back trying to eat salads for lunch during the week. And then like switch up. I know salads can get boring, but then like I kind of like switch it up. Like one day I might use the iceberg lettuce, one day I might use the romaine lettuce, and then one day I might use spinach. Or I might try to get the mixed bag that it has all of that stuff in there. So I won't get so bored with eating salads. And I find it very, very helpful. And then surprisingly, after I eat it, after I put like tomatoes and cucumbers in there, like the little things that I like, that's healthy, I'm full. Not, this I'm learning. I'm starting to learn that it's the fuller.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, great. The reason why some people the reason why some people find that they don't get full enough when they eat more plant-based food is because they're trying to avoid starches.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to avoid potatoes, they're trying to avoid legumes, they're trying to avoid brown rice. But those are not the carbs that make you fat. Those are the carbs that are good for you and that make you feel fuller for longer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make a big salad and you add all these elements as well as a little bit of fat like avocado, tahini, nuts, olives, then you will feel very satiated for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. You will. Well, all righty, Miss Serena. Thank you so much for being on the show. Tell us how we can get in contact with you to render your services if they would like. And I'm going to share the screen again.
Yeah, so the two best ways is I do a lot on social media such as Facebook and Instagram, and in fact our Instagram is brilliant for getting inspirations for healthy recipes, and the handle is at Whole Shift Wellness. Everybody can see it on there. And then our website has a lot of free resources that people can download completely free, such as the full report on the most common mistakes busy professionals make when they want to get healthier. So wholeshiftwellness.com is another brilliant way to get free resources and start making improvements.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your tips. I had a lot of takeaways because I'm currently trying to watch my eating habits and better, especially during this time, because you want to build up your immune system. And I feel like the best way to do that is also through eating healthy. Um,
100.
so I thank you for that. So you guys make sure you check out the website to get the free information. If you guys want to get in contact with me, my number is 910-317-0396. You can contact me also through email at contact@mjfinancial.biz. You can schedule a consultation at www.mjfinancial.biz. And you can also find this episode, you guys, on Anchor. And then you can also find this episode, you guys, on YouTube. So to go back and do the replay. But thank you so much again, Miss Serena, for being on the show. I really do appreciate you. I'm going to actually try to go check out your website today, see what type of other healthy tips that I can get for myself, because I really am trying to do better. Help my body build that immune system that it needs so I don't get sick and I can stay healthy and live a long life.
Absolutely. Sounds great.
All right. Well, thank you. And all right, you guys, see you on the next episode.